Dear students, today we will study about one theorem. This is the first theorem in your book. Now here onwards in 9th and 10th you have to solve number of theorems. So look here, theorem means what? There simply one statement is given, and from this statement we should have to prepare diagram ourselves. We should write given what are the conditions are given to us and what do you want to prove. That also you should have to mention. No information will be provided besides this statement. Now the opposite angles formed by two intersecting lines. I am going to prepare a diagram. By two intersecting lines means there are two lines. First you should draw two lines. How are these two lines? These two lines are intersecting to each other. Okay. So therefore these lines are intersecting to each other. Now here then we have to give them name A, O, B, C and D. I will write this here given. What is given? Line AC and line BD are intersecting at O. This is the given information. And what do you want to prove? The opposite angles are formed are equal measures. The opposite angles are the opposite angles have equal measures. Means here proof. You should have to prove. This is given proof. What do you want to prove? Measure of angle AOB is equal to AOB's opposite angle, A is opposite C, B is opposite D. So what will come? AOB is opposite COD. This is one. Second also, angle AOD, measure of angle AOD, A is opposite C. So write here C first. D is opposite B. Here middle O as it is, and D is opposite B. Means measure of angle AOD is equal to measure of angle COB. These are vertically opposite angles. So vertically opposite angles have same measure. You should have to prove this. Then how will you prove? That C. Now here proof. I am going to write proof. How will you prove? Look here. Now suppose this part is not there. Means only think about this much part. Means OD is not there. Then I am going to ask you that tell me angles in linear pair. Which are the angles in linear pair? Angle AOB. Measure of angle AOB plus measure of angle BOC. BOC is equal to 180 degree. Here first you have to write that line AC, write or don't write, no problem. Line AC and line BD intersect at O. Reason is given. Wait, what is reason? Given. Now however, by closing this, here angle AOB and angle COB are angles in linear pair. This is number 1, and sum of measure of angles in linear pair is 180 degree. Similar way, now suppose this OA is not there, then what will happen? Now write angles in linear pair BOC. Measure of angle BOC is equal to measure of angle DOC is equal to 180 degree. What is reason? Reason to both is that angles in linear pair. Angles in linear pair. Then from 1 and 2, from 1 and 2, what is becoming? Right hand sides are equal, so take left hand sides equal. I am taking here measure of angle AOB plus measure of angle BOC is equal to measure of angle BOC plus measure of angle DOC or COD. As you like, you may take here COD. I am making correction because we want up there like that. So here DOC instead of DOC, I am taking COD. Now BOC same terms to both sides are equal, then that terms are cancelled. What is remaining? Measure of angle AOB is equal to measure of angle COD. First proof is proved. Similar way, we can find answer. We can prove how measure of angle AOD is equal to measure of angle COB. Okay, let me prove that also. Now we want to prove measure of angle AOD. Means what should we do? Suppose OC is not there. Line OC is not there. Means these two angles are angles in linear pair. Angle AOD. Measure of angle AOD plus measure of angle AOB is equal to 180 degree. Number 3. Similar way, now DO is not there, then AOB and BOC or COB. Measure of angle AOB plus measure of angle COB is equal to 180 degree. Common reason, angles in linear pair. Angles in linear pair. Then from 3 and 4, what is happening? Measure of angle AOD plus measure of angle AOB is equal to measure of angle AOB plus measure of angle COB. Because right hand sides are equal, therefore we are taking left hand sides equal to each other. Then common equal terms to opposite sides are cancelled. What is remainder? Measure of angle AOD is equal to measure of angle COB. Measure of angle AOD is equal to measure of angle COB. Means opposite angles formed by two intersecting lines have equal measurement. This is the proof. This proof is very important, and number of questions are based on this theorem. Now we are going to study about next part directly. Instead of wasting my time, I will enter into the exercise or practice set 1.3. Before entering into the practice set 1.3, I am going to request you that you should subscribe our channel. You should share your likes. You should write your comments. Don't forget to tell to your friends to subscribe the channel. Ashok's English Medium Academy channel is providing you number of videos on every topic of this mathematics, science, as well as videos will be provided from other subjects also. So don't forget to subscribe our channel. Now we are going to enter into the practice set 1.3. Now we are told write the statements. Question number 1 is that write the following. Write the statements. Write following statements. Write following statements. Write following statements. Statements in if-then form. Very simple it is. Very simple. What is first statement that I will say? The opposite angles of parallelogram are congruent. The opposite angles of parallelogram are congruent. We should write this sentence in if and then form. Before writing this, I will take second also. The diagonals of rectangle are congruent. the diagonals of a rectangle, the diagonals of rectangle are congruent. The diagonals of rectangle are congruent. Again, there is one more statement is given. In an isosceles triangle, we will write it, we will see it afterwards. First, we will study how to write in the form of if and then. So, what is told? The opposite angles of parallelogram are congruent. Means we should take this front side part first. What? If a quadrilateral is a parallelogram, then if a quadrilateral is a parallelogram, then the opposite angles, then you may write here, then its opposite angles are congruent, or then the opposite angles of parallelogram are congruent. It becomes very big, so I am writing it short. Look how then its opposite angles are congruent. Understand? What is then? If quadrilateral is parallelogram, then its opposite angles are congruent. If and then. Here in the beginning if, and here it is then. Similar way, who can tell? Yes, anybody can. You can also tell. Very simple. Same way, rectangle. A rectangle is given. Means what? If a quadrilateral is a rectangle, then its diagonals are congruent. Understand? So it is very simple. Such questions are asked in exam. There is one more statement, very big statement given in your textbook. Just a read. We will write here direct answer because we will not waste time to write the question. So read. Here it is told that in an isosceles triangle, the segment joining the vertex and the midpoint of the base is perpendicular to the base. This is very big. Then how can you make it? If, direct answer I am telling you about third one. If a triangle is an isosceles, then remaining as it is. What is then? Then the segment joining the vertex and the midpoint, MP writing means midpoint of the base is perpendicular to the base. Okay. Here I used symbol. You are not allowed to use symbol. You should write perpendicular word. But answer is like this. Now we will enter into the question number 2. Write converse. This is if then, and directly again is this statement only. If the segment here, if a triangle is an isosceles, however here written, its converse means that what? If means the triangle is an isosceles, remaining then this and this will go. Now what will happen? Triangle is an isosceles, or in an isosceles triangle, I am going to tell you about converse. In an isosceles triangle, the segment joining the vertex and the midpoint of the base is perpendicular to the base, that is becoming converse. So we will study question number 2. Similar kind of questions, directly we have to make them converse. How to make converse? That we will study. Once again I am reminding you that don't forget to subscribe the channel. Tell to your all friends to subscribe the channel. What is right converse? Right converses. Right converses, not writing all. First here question is that the alternate angles formed by two parallel, can you do or not, I don't know, I will write again, parallel and their transversal are congruent. The alternate angles formed by two parallel and the transversal, is it there or not? Check. The alternate angles formed by two parallel lines and the transversal are congruent. This is a statement. We have to write its converse. How will you write converse? Here, that I am going to tell you. To make this converse statement, alternate angles. So here, if you want to make it, then we should use here if and then. If alternate angles made by two lines, and its transversal, then the two lines are parallel. Yes, what is the alternate angles formed by two parallel lines and the transversal are congruent? Means if alternate angles are congruent, what is main thing? The alternate angles are congruent. Understand? The alternate angles are congruent, then two lines are parallel. If alternate means in short also, instead of this all, you may directly write if alternate angles are congruent, then two lines are parallel. This statement is also correct. No matter, because two lines are required. The two lines must be parallel. Third line is required. Transversal is necessary. So alternate angles made by two lines and one transversal are congruent, then that two lines are parallel. Understand? This is a converse statement. If you are unable to write like this, you may write directly. If alternate angles are congruent, then two lines are parallel. Understand? Now we will see second statement, second question. There are totally three questions. Now what is second question? Check. If a pair of interior angles made by transversal, I am not writing here, directly writing answer. If a pair of interior angles made by transversal of two lines are supplementary, then the lines are parallel. Okay. What is? If pair of the interior angles made by transversal of two lines are supplementary, then the lines are parallel. Now here we should have write if two lines are parallel. How converse statement becoming? If two lines are parallel, if two lines are parallel, if two lines are parallel, if two lines are intersected, if two lines, if two parallel lines, we should have to take two parallel lines. If two parallel lines are intersected by transversal, then interior angles formed by them are supplementary. Understand? You should write of your own. No need that your answer should match as it is with the answer of textbook. Understand? Theme is important. Basic concept is important. If two parallel lines are intersected by a transversal, then interior angles formed by them are supplementary angles. Because what is told, if a pair of interior angles made by a transversal of two lines are supplementary, then the lines are parallel. The lines are parallel means if two lines are parallel. If two lines are parallel and supplementary interior angles are formed, that interior angles are supplementary. Okay? Now third question. What is third statement? We will check it. Third statement. The diagonals of rectangle are congruent. Third statement. The diagonals of a rectangle. The diagonals of rectangle are congruent. The diagonals of rectangle are congruent. How can you write? If a quadrilateral is a rectangle, what will happen then? Is a rectangle, then its diagonals are congruent. Okay, so these are converse. Today we have seen one theorem. First we have seen how to write if then, and we have also now studied how to write the converse statements. If you want, I can give you a lot of such examples to make the practice. Now we are entering some questions as a basic concept. I want to take some examples from problem set first because it is necessary, and so I am going to take as a basic concept. Just you have to observe them, read carefully, try to understand it from problem set first. Now here, ready? Problem set 1. What is first question do? How many midpoints does a segment have? How many? I am going to explain it. First question number 1 first. How many midpoints does a segment have? It is simple. If there is any one segment, A and B are its endpoints, then always keep in mind that only one and one point remains at equidistant from both endpoints. So from A and B, if M is the midpoint, then only this single point will be at equidistant from endpoints. So what will be the answer? Only one midpoint. How many midpoints are there? Do you understand? I have told you with the help of example, because M is a midpoint if considered, then only M and M is a single point is at equidistant from its endpoints. So its answer is only one midpoint, means what will be the answer? A, only one. A will be the answer of it. Now next question is here given, asked to you. Question number 2 is there asked. What is 2? That how many points are there in the intersection of two distinct lines? Two lines. These two lines are intersecting at only one point. Can they intersect here, anywhere? No, not at all. They will intersect in only one point. So what will be its answer? 1. Its answer is 1. Means what is its answer? Is option is C. Now, how many lines are determined by 3 distinct points? 3 distinct points. There are 3 distinct points. We will check it. 3 distinct points means 1, 2, 3. Then how many lines can pass? Only one line will pass. Means what is the answer? 1. But suppose if here one point, here one point, here one point, means 3 points are non-collinear. Then we will check it. 1, 2 and 3. How many lines are passed? 3. So what will come answer? 1 or 3 is the answer, means what is option? C. How many lines are determined by 3? How many lines are determined by 3 distinct points? 1 or 3. Now here remaining all are very simple. No need to take 4th, 5th. You can solve 4th, 5th. And besides that, some more examples I am going to take from my own mind that you will study. That point, the questions are extra questions from me based on such a conditions. We will check it that if how many lines can pass. I am writing question, extra question for your basic knowledge. Extra questions. Okay, related to basic concept. Extra questions. Here 1, 2, 3, 4 means if there are 4 non-collinear distinct points, then how many lines will pass? How many lines can be drawn? How many lines can be drawn? Look here. 1 line, 2 line, 3 line, 4 lines, 5 and 6. How many lines can you draw? You can draw 6 lines can be drawn. 6 lines can be drawn. If 4 points are distinct points, if there are 4 non-collinear distinct points, then how many lines can we draw? We can draw 6 lines. Now next condition. If 3 points are collinear, if 3 points are collinear and 1 is not collinear, then how many lines can be drawn? Then how many lines can be drawn? Look here, 1, 2, 3. These are the 3 lines and 1 is here non-collinear. one is non-collinear. Then here one line is drawn. From here you can draw this one line. From these two lines you can draw. And from here one you can draw. Means how many total lines are drawn? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 lines. If there are two distinct points, how many lines? I think we have how many lines can be drawn from two distinct points? Is it not same like first one? No? Yes, check please. If it is same, then no need. How many midpoints? No. How many points are there? No, not. So here there are 2 points. Here there are 2 points. Then here how many lines can be drawn? Only one line. Single line. Single line is drawn now. Single line is drawn. By this way here we have completed exercise 1.1. One theorem is completed and 2-3 questions from beginning questions of the problem sets are also taken. The remaining questions I am giving you as a homework that you should have to solve yourself. Let me send on my personal WhatsApp number. I can check it. I will tell you whether your answers are correct or not. If you have again problem about it, then you can see all the answers in my next video. Don't forget to subscribe our channel, share your likes and write your comments to improve the education quality. Thanks for watching the video.